Okay, so now that you have both apps installed and the tablet is talking with the remote on the smartphone, and you have created your data spreadsheet, the next thing we want to do on the phone app is in this. Let's come over to the phone app here and let that focus for a moment. You need to pick your spreadsheet where your data is going to be stored. So in the little menu up here, the 3 dots, you hit that and tap on Pick Spreadsheet. I think if you don't do this, it will probably ask you for it when you try to start collecting data, but you might as well just do it preemptively because you're going to have to do it. So once that comes up, you go through and you pick that spreadsheet that you created. And so ours is the example spreadsheet. Might take just a moment for our documents to load. Okay. And so here's our examples. Oh, yeah, example spreadsheet. That was a little bit fast. I'm going to go back and show that one more time. So I'm going to go pick spreadsheet, and it'll bring up your Google Drive where you can find your example spreadsheet. I don't know why it does this, but for some reason, sometimes the screen will add PDF onto the end even though it's not actually a PDF. It's some kind of weird bug. Doesn't really matter. Just pick the spreadsheet that you created that has the proper format. You should see the little Google Sheets green icon, and that's how you know it's the right kind of thing. Just tap on that, and then it picks the spreadsheet, and you're good to go. So now the spreadsheet is being used by SMARTA, and you don't have to do that on the tablet. There's no option to pick the spreadsheet on the tablet. It's actually the phone that does all of the data logging. So, you know, as the animals make choices on the tablet tells the phone what they did, and the phone logs the data in the spreadsheet. So once you pick the spreadsheet on the phone, you're good to go from a data standpoint. But I want to show you what's going to happen if you try to do training or testing without having set up the colors, because this is a common place where people get a little bit mixed up. So we haven't set up any of the color values on here, and so I'm going to pick one of the animal subjects. So let's say we're working with Carmi. I'm going to tap Carmi, and I'm going to hit train, which is, you know, how you teach the animals to use SMARTA, and that'll be a whole separate thing to learn about. And so without going into too much detail, this is where you can pick the different training modes that you want the tablet to display. So, you know, black screen, red screen, varying sizes of red square or gray square combinations, so you can teach your animals how to use the tablet. But watch what happens if I try to turn it into this big red square. You know, you'd expect the tablet to show a red square, but watch what happens. Okay, so as you can see, nothing happened. Okay, the reason that this is acting like this is because we haven't actually configured the color values that your SMARTA should use. By default, all of the colors are set to black, kind of just to help you not accidentally start using SMARTA with the wrong color values, because if it's black, it means you have to set it. So I'm going to stop this training session. Just going to go back. And in this same 3 dots menu, this is where you can go to calibrate your color values. So you hit the 3 dots, and then you tap Set Colors. You have to do this before you'll see anything on the tablet while you're using it. Now, when you go into this color screen, there's 2 sets of colors you need to set, the training colors and the testing colors, and that's what this first drop down is. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and set some, you know, just rough training colors to show what goes on. So under training colors, you also need to set red values and gray values. So for training, it's actually pretty straightforward. There's just a single red color and a single gray color. You'll see that when you go to set testing colors, there's actually many different shades of red and green. But for training, it's just these 2 colors, so it's kind of easy to set up.
Green and gray.
No, but for testing, it's red and green. But for training, it's just red and gray. So we're going to set the red, and for purposes of this video, just to show you how it works, I'm going to set the red to the maximum redness. And you notice a couple things happen, right? So on the phone, there is a preview of the red, just to give you an idea of what shade you've set. And on the tablet, it also changes to the color that you chose. But you should probably even notice, even on this video, which isn't the highest quality, that these are not the same red. Every single device that you use, like different manufacturers, different models, they all represent these colors in a slightly different way. So you can't trust the color on the phone to be the same as the tablet and use that to figure out whether it's the right shade or not. But more importantly, if you're doing a scientific experiment with color vision, it's critical that you calibrate the color on the tablet using something like a spectroradiometer, which will let you, it's actually a device, and perhaps you're familiar with it if you're watching this video, but it's a device that you point at the tablet screen that will measure the brightness and the hue and other characteristics of the colors to let you get exactly the right wavelength that you need for the animal that you're doing research with, depending on how they perceive colors. So this red, as I have it here, would not be acceptable for a scientific experiment, but for the purposes of demonstrating how SMARTA works, I'm just going to leave this red value. And I'm going to set the gray value now by changing the second drop down to gray. And you'll need to do this. You need to do this for each training color and each testing color. You notice again that the gray color defaults to black. All of the colors default to black until you set them. That's to let you know that you haven't done this yet. Now I'm just going to kind of randomly pick a middle gray color just to show you. I'm just going to kind of put them all in the middle here. You notice like the sliders kind of let you get roughly where you want if you just want to experiment with different colors, but what you probably want is to type in the precise value over here. So this blue should probably be 144 if I want it to be an exact gray, like so. I can type it in, and now again you can see that the colors don't exactly match up between the phone and the tablet, and that's normal because they have different kinds of screens. So you want to use that spectroradiometer on the tablet to calibrate all of your colors to match your research goals. So I'm not going to set the testing colors, but you obviously would want to do that if you're getting your device ready for research. But I've set training, and if I hit done, now this phone knows the proper red and gray to use during training. If you have multiple phones with the SMARTA app installed, you need to set the same colors on each phone because those colors are actually set on the phone itself. So let's say this phone breaks and I get a replacement. That new phone will not immediately have the correct colors. I need to go input those values again because it's just saved on the phone. So now if I go back to the home screen here and I again go to train Carmi, so the screen turns black again, right? And this is how the remote control basically works. And if I try to display that red square that I showed last time, now the tablet is showing the red square. And I'll just show a couple of the other training modes so you can get a basic idea of what things look like when you're controlling the tablet. As I tap them here on the remote control, it uses Bluetooth to communicate with the tablet and display the desired screen. So as you can imagine, you can use this to train the animals to tap various things. And that's how color calibration works.